What's up everybody, ManBearCow here, teaching you how to find your 10th Druid Rune in the World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. These last 3 runes in Season of Discovery are going to be a little bit more tricky to acquire, with at least 2 of them being locked behind somewhat lengthy mob grinds. The first of these is going to be the Rune of Survival. Now you can collect these runes in any order that you want. I'm just listing them in the order that I received them, because I really want to be able to show you footage of myself completing the quest, rather than just talking about them. Now anybody can make a video telling you how to get these runes, but I would prefer to show you at the same time. And the Rune of Survival is going to be a very powerful rune if you plan on tanking. So once you reach level 20, head to the inn at Ratchet. Just around the corner to the right is a goblin named Grizzby. He won't talk to you before level 20, but once you reach level 20, he'll have a quest mark over his head. Talk to Grizzby, and he will tell you, "I'm branching into the defense contracting business. Great line of work nowadays, though I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. I've got a great product lined up, but I'm missing a few supplies. If you can get me the stuff I need, I'll hook you up with some samples to bring to your leadership. Once they've signed a contract with me, you'll be eligible for some premium gear from my catalog, at a hefty discount, of course." Oh yeah, a goblin giving me a discount? Oh, I'm sure. Well, definitely don't expect a discount from Grizzby, because he's going to want you to bring him a collection of 3 different items. The first of these items is Dark Iron Ordinance, 20 of them to be exact. These can be found on Dark Iron Dwarves in the wetlands. This is where you might want to form a group and head back to Dun Modur. That was the little signpost that we ran past when we entered the wetlands to get our Star Surge rune. These mobs range from level 7 to level 30, and they are elite. So you will likely need a group of level 25 characters in order to collect these. The Alliance will be after these items as well, and Dun Modur can become a PvP hotspot. So if you're having trouble in Dun Modur, you can head east, staying at the northern part of the wetlands, and find more Dark Iron Dwarves there. I got lucky and found a group that was forming at Dun Modur as I was heading into the wetlands in order to collect some more footage for the Star Surge rune. So I joined the group, and pretty quickly we were attacked by Alliance. So we head to the east, and we spent about 2 hours there, and I was able to collect all 20 of the Dark Iron Ordnance that I needed. The second item that you will want to collect is 24 pieces of fish oil. These can be found on Murlocs in the wetlands, particularly on the Bluegill Oracles, which can be found along the northwest coast of the wetlands. These are non-elite, and are probably your best option if you plan on grinding for these alone. You can also collect them off of Bluegill Raiders, which are south of Menethil Harbor. But not only are these going to be a higher level at 28 to 29, but you're also going to have to sneak past an Alliance town. So if you're a Horde character, this is probably not going to be a very good option. I tried my luck with the Bluegill Oracles up in the northwest. However, I found it difficult due to the heavy Alliance presence. I tried swimming out in the ocean and staying underwater in my seal form and fighting the mobs there in order to stay hidden from the Alliance, but at that time, I didn't know exactly which Murlocs I should be hunting. I was just going after all of them, and I wasn't finding any fish oil. So I decided to collect my fish oil off of Naga in Hillsbrad Foothills. You can pretty much find Dagger Spine Naga all along the coast east of the river delta. However, the ones closer to the river delta tend to be a higher level, at 31 to 32. If you head further east, you can find Dagger Spine Shorestalker or Dagger Spine Screamers at level 29 through 30. I spent about 2 hours in this area with a group, and I was able to collect more than half the fish oil that I needed, but the process was slow and frustrating because we kept getting attacked by Alliance. You're also competing with a lot of gold farmers in the area that I suspect may be robots. I'm told that a better place to farm fish oil is further west within Hillsbrad Foothills, as we can find more Murlocs south of Azerlode Mine along a crescent-shaped coastline. Here we can find Torn Fin Muck Dwellers and Torn Fin Coast Runners that are level 28 through 30. Similar to the Naga, if you head closer to the river delta, you can find higher level mobs at level 31 to 32. So I recommend sticking to the crescent-shaped coastline in the west. I'm told that these mobs are better to farm because they have a chance of dropping a pearl, which can be sold for quite a bit at the auction house. However, just like with the Naga, you may run into competition here, and you may end up in some PvP battles, which will put a halt to your grinding. Now some of you may be thinking, gosh, this sounds like a lot of work. And yeah, it is. But fortunately, you have another option. These items do not become soulbound when you pick them up, which means that you can find them for sale at the auction house. And we're going to want to head there anyways to talk about the third item that we need to collect. This would be 16 Shredder Turbochargers. You will collect these off of Venture Company Shredders in Windshear Crag of Stone Talon Mountains. But these items won't just drop off of the Venture Company Shredders. First, you will need to kill the Shredder, then you will need to use a Shredder auto salvage unit on the wreckage of the Shredder. This will allow you to loot the Shredder Turbocharger. You will need to collect 16 Shredder Turbochargers. Now the drop rate on these is pretty high, but it's not 100%. So you may need to use about 20 to 22 Shredder auto salvage units in order to collect all 16 Shredder Turbochargers that you need. Now, unless you are an engineer, the auto salvage units will have to be acquired at the auction house. At the time of making this video, they were averaging for about 55 silver each. The Venture Company Shredders can be found all over the Windshear Crag, wherever the trees have been cut, and at level 20 to 21, they are quite easy to solo. However, there will be other characters searching for these items, and some of them may be Alliance. So not only will you have competition from your fellow Horde, but you will also have to keep an eye out for PvP engagements. On at least 2 occasions, I was about to kill a Shredder when an Alliance popped up, killed me, and took my Shredder. It was quite frustrating, but I kept at it. Now, unlike the other 2 items, you're not as likely to find large groups of the opposing faction running around Windshear Crag. It will usually be just 1 or 2 individuals. So I found these items much easier to collect, aside from the fact that I had to spend money on the auto salvage units first. But hey, maybe some of you have a lot of gold in your bags, and maybe some of you decide that you really don't care for the whole mob grinding or dodging PvP aspects of completing this requirement. Well, all 3 of these items can be found at the auction house. They won't be cheap, but some will be cheaper than others. The Shredder Turbochargers being the most expensive. Those were selling for about $1.50 gold each at the time I made this video. Dark Iron Ordinance was much cheaper at around 9 to 10 silver each, and if I had known that before I started farming for them, I might have spent more time at the auction house. But the group I had farming Dark Iron Ordinance was actually kind of fun. The fish oil, however, that was a different story, so I decided to purchase the rest of my fish oil. So, for those of you who decide to go to the auction house to complete these requirements, you're gonna need a lot of gold, because not only will you need to pay for your items at the auction house, but you will also need to pay 5 gold for your rune once you complete those items. When you reach level 25, questing converts some of the experience that you would have gained into gold, so completing quests at level 25 can be a great way to collect enough gold to complete your requirements. Just keep in mind that once the level cap is raised again, you may want some of those quests in order to gain experience. You may even consider going back to lower level areas and completing the gray or green quests that won't be much use to you once you resume leveling. So you've collected 20 Dark Iron Ordnance, and you've collected 24 fish oil. You also got 16 Shredder Turbochargers, and you've collected 5 gold. Now what do we do? Now, we're going to head back to Ratchet, back to the inn, and talk to Grizzby. Turn in the items that you have collected, and then Grizzby will make you an offer. He says, the first run's all packed up. Take this to Orgrimmar and get it in front of the higher-ups, someone who can sign today. Well, this sounds a bit sketchy, but hey, we want a rune, so we won't ask questions. So head back to the Flightmaster and over to Orgrimmar. Head on back to the Valley of Honor and up a hill to a fortress called the Hall of the Brave. Speak to Zelmach, the warrior trainer, and tell him about Grizzby's offer. Zelmach says, an arms supplier in Ratchet? The Horde has been trying to steer goblin business towards us and away from the Alliance. We should act fast to secure this new opportunity. So he says, you've got yourself a deal. I've signed and sealed the contract. Tell this goblin he now deals exclusively with the Horde. So head back to the Flightmaster and fly back to Ratchet. Head back to Grizzby at the inn and let him know that you were able to close the deal. Hand him the contract, and like a typical goblin, he'll laugh and say, they signed without even negotiating? Ha! Everything's turning around for old Grizzby. And you've been a real pal. Here you go, a little token of my thanks. And now that we're officially in business, Feel free to look through my stock of gear and see if anything catches your eye. I'll even give you the employee discount. Now, this little piece of paper that he hands us really doesn't mean much, but you can sell it at a vendor for 95 silver, so that's not bad. And now, Grizzby will allow you to look at his goods for sale. Which, if you're a druid, there's really only one item of interest to you, and that's your Rune of Survival. And, oh wait a second, Rune of Sacrifice? Class is Paladin? I thought he was supposed to be dealing exclusively with the Horde. Well, I guess we all know how loyal those goblins are. In any case, you bought your rune, and fortunately, we don't have to do anything to activate it other than right-click and learn
Boom shakalaka.
Survival of the Fittest, a powerful chest rune, which will reduce all damage taken by 10%, or by 20% if you're in bear form. It will also offer a little bit of protection against critical melee attacks. I mean, if you plan on tanking Black Fathom Deeps in bear form, this rune is a must-have. It could also be a great rune for those who want to level in cat form and would like the extra protection. But maybe you don't want to tank or use bear form. Maybe you're looking for some additional healing power, or something that would be great for PvP. Well, stick around, my friend, because I got you covered. This is Man Bear Cow signing out, saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, as we collect all 12 Druid Runes available in this first season of Discovery.